Welcome to What's Cooking, New Ulm. I'm Rebecca Fliszar, the dietitian with the Heart's Beat Back, Heart of New Ulm project, working to reduce and eventually eliminate heart attacks in the 56073 zip code. Well, today we have a great guest. We have Marcie Flygare here, and she's going to be making a nice, easy, no-cook salad. So tell us a little bit about your recipe, where it came from, and what kind of ingredients we'll be using today.
Okay, well, thank you, Rebecca. Today we're going to be making fresh snap pea salad. So basically, I got it from my aunt, and my aunt just loves these little healthy recipes, so I thought that this would be a great one to share with all of you guys. So what we basically need is some fresh snap peas, and you can either, in this recipe, you can saute them or boil them, and the boiling process is on here, and we'll show you how to do that all. But we're actually just going to use them fresh today. And then you need tomatoes, and then you need Dijon mustard, and you need carrots. You can do feta cheese or mozzarella cheese. You need oregano. You need balsamic vinegar, salt, olives, and I think
onions and pepper.
And onion and pepper. Yep.
All right. Now you're going to find that this is something that will be perfect coming out of the garden right now. You know, snap peas are something that we're all taking in from the garden. You're using quite a few different of our garden vegetables. We have the tomatoes and the carrots, oregano coming fresh out of our herb garden. So this is something that we could put together pretty well with what we have growing in our yard. Isn't that right?
Yeah, currently.
Good. What other things do you think we could mix in here if we didn't have carrots, or have you tried it with different vegetables? Anything else that would work in here?
I'm a big broccoli fan, so I've put in broccoli, and I've also put in fresh string beans too.
Great, great. So yeah, these sugar snap peas look really fresh and great today. So let's go ahead and start in our preparation.
Okay, well first we're going to want to take a small bowl, and we're going to want to put together all of our liquids. So we're going to want to put together here 1/4 cup of vinegar,
now we're using a white vinegar. It's going to have a little bit of a lighter flavor. You can use a darker vinegar if you'd like, but it will change the overall taste of your dressing. So be aware that change can make a difference. Our vinegars are going to be a no-calorie option for our dressing. So definitely, if you're watching your saturated fat or cholesterol intake, this is going to be a great option.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah. And then we need 2 teaspoons of mustard here.
That looks good. And again, the Dijon is one of our mustard flavors. You can use different flavors of mustard as well. Mustard, again, is a no-calorie selection, so that's great for our heart health as well.
And then we need 1/8 cup of, or not cup, of 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, which is basically just a little pinch that you want to put in. So we'll do that.
You know, I find that too, pepper is something that's really to taste. So some people like things a little bit more peppery, and I'm not a big pepper fan, so that would be about the right amount for me. So, you know, you can kind of make that however you want as well.
And the same thing, you need 1/8 teaspoon of salt. So again, just one little pinch.
Now, if you're really watching your salt intake, if you have any issues with blood pressure or fluid retention, that is something that you can skip. It does add a different flavor, and this little amount isn't going to push you outside of our heart healthy guideline. But if you're reducing your overall sodium intake, that is one step that you can eliminate in this recipe.
Perfect. And then we're just going to whisk it together. It's not going to be too much.
So Marcie, throughout the summer that you've been working with the Heart of New Ulm, you've done lots of different things. So what brought you to New Ulm, and what was your goal this summer?
Well, my goal this summer was to work with the developmentally disabled population of New Ulm, basically on heart disease. So throughout that, I did different programs. We did some nutrition classes, and we did a lot of physical fitness activities, and we also did just some daily activities and lessons plans of how to get out and be more healthy within the community.
Right, great. Our disability or disabled population too is something that the Heart of New Ulm is working to reach. We work with our HSI and MBW homes, hoping to make those recipes better. They are an integral part of our community, and we hope that they can follow on with our Heart Healthy plan as well.
Yes. Next, we need 3/4 cups of olive oil here, which we need to grab.
We did choose the extra virgin olive oil. Did you want the one?
Thanks. Yes.
Now the difference between this is a virgin olive oil is going to be your first pressing. You're going to have a much more olive flavor to this. It's going to be a little bit stronger. That is the difference. So nutritionally, there's a few more antioxidants in the first pressing as well. It is something that you would want to look for, although there is an extra expense with this. If that's not something you're willing to pay for, a regular olive oil is still a very good choice. But when you look at these and you wonder what the difference is, that is what it is about.
And you're also going to whisk this a little bit. And then you're going to want to sprinkle in here just 2 teaspoons of oregano.
So this is fresh oregano. So if we were making this in the winter, would we be able to use a dried oregano, or does that really change your flavor quite a bit?
No, you can. I definitely would prefer fresh, but if need be, just go with what you have.
Okay. We are working on classes too through the Heart of New Ulm, working on winter herb gardens. We can do those in pots, and they grow pretty well indoors. So be sure to check on our Community Health Challenge calendar, and we'll have those classes posted for you as well.
Okay, and then usually you put this to the side, but we're going to put it together since we're making it all at one moment. If you want, you can just start taking then. You're going to want to take a cup of olives here.
Now we use the Kalamatas tonight. This is a little bit of a different flavor than a regular black olive. They are a little bit more expensive, so we could use a regular olive as well, right?
Yep. I like green preferably, but depends on your taste.
Great.
And then usually you're going to want to take 1 1/2 pounds of fresh snap peas, and like I said before, you can either steam them, and you do that for 4 minutes on boiling water, and also you could saute them if you wanted to with olive oil. But this time, since they're really fresh, we're going to end up just putting them in straight from the garden. So
yeah, that'd be great.
But I'll do that at the end then, so it's easier to mix together.
Okay.
So
perfect.
And then you're going to want to take 1 cup or 2 cups of fresh tomatoes too.
Now we use the grape tomatoes. That's going to be the size of the grape. It has a little bit of a different flavor again. Remember that these are going to be very high in some of our nutrients, such as vitamin A and other things that you're looking for. So these tomatoes are great to throw in there. If you have some beefsteak tomatoes, whatever kind of tomatoes you have coming up in the garden, feel free to add those in as well. You don't have to use the grape, but they do have a pretty distinct flavor.
And then you're going to want to take 1 cup of sliced baby carrots. And we'll just mix those together here.
Okay. So this is something that you could whip together fairly quickly and have ready for a summer potluck or a barbecue. And this is looking really great. And how many people do you think this is going to serve? How many servings will we get?
About 12.
Wow,
that's what we
so
came
that's
up to. And it only takes you 15 minutes to prep and 4 minutes to make usually.
Wow,
so
perfect.
It's pretty quick.
Yep.
And then you're going to want to take 1/3 cup of red onions. And depending if you want them a little, you can slice them really fine, or if you want to, you can leave them more, you could say fuller.
Mm-hmm. Right. And again, onion is something that's very to taste, so if you like the flavor of onion, feel free to add more of that in there. The nice thing about this recipe is, your quantities don't really have to be too accurate. Anytime we're working with vegetables, the more the better. So if you enjoy the tomatoes, you can throw in a little bit of extra of that, or like I mentioned, the onion as well. So a great addition to this salad as well.
Yeah, and it's easy to substitute vegetables, as she said before too. And depending on how much dressing you like, you can just step back a little bit, or keep it the normal amount that you'd like.
Right.
So, and then you need 1 cup of either, if you want to do feta cheese or mozzarella nuggets, can work too. So.
Now, Marcie, you are finishing up college. What is it that you're studying, and how did you get interested in the work that you're doing?
Well, currently I'm studying exercise science as my major and biology as my minor, and I hope to go to be a registered dietitian with clinical health psychology for the future. But I got into this just because I thought it would be a great way to learn more and also help out the community at the same time, in something that I love to do, and working in an area where I'm from currently. So.
Oh, great. And you're originally from here in New Ulm, right?
Yep, I just live outside, almost by Lafayette North.
Great.
So.
Great.
And you can mix this together, and then pretty much you just add the snap peas in, or take a bigger bowl, and you can add everything and just sort of mix it together. So we can do that right now too.
All right. Well, while Marcie finishes up the adding here, and before we have our finished product, let's go ahead and check in with Holly and see what's new for Fit in 5.
Welcome to Fit in 5. What do you think of when somebody says the word yoga to you, or asks you if you've tried a yoga class? Most of us think that yoga is a really passive exercise where all of us are sitting around with our legs crossed, chanting a mantra, doing our ohms. But yoga is actually extremely beneficial for all age groups and fitness levels. Yoga promotes strength, flexibility, and balance all in one shot. And the great thing is you can do this at home. And today that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you some basic yoga exercises or poses, we would call them, that you can do right in the privacy of your own home. I'm going to go ahead and start in a basic position where my feet are just about hip distance apart. You can actually see not quite hip distance apart. And I'm going to walk my toes apart, lift up through my heels just to stretch to the soles of my feet. I want to make sure that I'm standing up nice and tall. So that means that my knees are soft and not locked, and that my core once again is engaged. So I can feel my abdominal area just zipped up nice and tight to help hold me upright. My shoulders are nice and flat on my back here. And we're standing up, like I said, nice and tall. We're going to do a standing lateral flexion first. We're going to take our arms, both arms up, and we're going to bring the palms together. If you want to interlock at the thumbs, you sure can. We're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And as we exhale through the nose, we're going to take this to the right. And I'm going to keep my hips right underneath my body, which just means I'm not going to kick them out to the side. They're right underneath me, and then I can inhale up, and I can exhale, taking this to the other side. And I'm going to do this to my breath. So as I inhale, I come up. As I exhale, I'm actually taking it from side to side. And again, and then to the other side. And you can continue to do this for about 5 or 6 full breaths, or as tolerated. It can be a little bit of an intense stretch right down through the side. So you may want to do just a few to start with and then stop. The next one we're going to do is called chair pose. So we're going to bring our feet a little bit closer together. It's preferred that the feet are actually together for this. And then we're actually going to bend from the hip flexors and take our sits bones back behind us, just like you're sitting in a chair, just like the name of the pose is chair pose. We're going to make sure that the chest stays lifted, and then we can reach forward with the arms, really extending through. I'm going to shift my weight back a little bit so I can wiggle my toes here, and I'm just going to relax the shoulders. If you want to look at from the side, you can kind of see where we're at. One thing that we see a lot of, and you want to be careful of, is not doing what I like to call Superman, where you look like you're flying. We want to make sure that the shoulders are back. And you can hold this 30 seconds, a minute, 15 seconds. If you haven't done a lot of this, you're really going to feel this through the thighs, through the quadriceps and hamstring muscles. And then we're just going to lift up nice and easy. Now, if you want to do chair pose and take it maybe to a little higher level, feel a little bit more sensation with it, you can come down and then actually come up onto the balls of the feet. This is a balancing chair. And again, I'm relaxing my shoulders and then lifting up. And we're going to stand up again, back to that beginning position. The next thing I'm going to show you is just some basic warrior poses. We're going to start with taking the right foot behind us and the left foot is forward. We're going to make sure that the left heel is in line with the right arch of the back foot. And then we're just going to bend the left knee so it's right over the ankle. We don't want to shoot over the toes. We're going to stay right over the ankle. And then if we feel pretty confident with our balance at this point, we're going to inhale, bring those arms up. And then as we exhale, we're dropping those shoulder blades again flat against the back. This is a warrior one position. And we're just going to hold this. We want to hold it again 15, 30, 45 seconds, up to a minute even if you would like. And then we'll bring it down and we're going to bring the feet together again. We're just going to do the same thing on the other side. With yoga, when you're doing some of these poses, you might find that one side will do these a little bit more easily than the other. That's really actually very common, depending on whether you're right or left side dominant. But one of the reasons to do yoga is to offset those inequalities from one side to the other. We're going to do the same thing, arms up. So now we're on the other side. And again, we're just going to hold it here. And then we can release it and bring the feet together. Another real common warrior pose is proud warrior or warrior two. And I'm gonna actually step off my mat a little bit for this one. But I'm gonna go ahead and take the feet, a little further than shoulder distance apart here. I'm gonna take my left foot, turn it out, bend the left knee, and I'm bringing both arms up. When I raise my arms up, my wrist should be right over my ankles rather. And I'm relaxing the shoulders, just looking out over those left fingertips. And I'm always going to make sure that I'm continuing to breathe as I hold the poses. Then I'll extend that leg. I'm just going to switch it. So now I'm turning the left foot in, right foot out, bending the right knee, looking out over those right fingertips. It's really important with this position that you not lean into the bent knee. You want to think of your spine and your tailbone dropping right down to the center of the floor of your mat. So you're still even. You're not coming over one side or the other. And then we can bring it down. We're going to bring the toes forward and step in. The last thing I'm going to show you is a balancing pose that we have done before on the show, but we're going to do it again. And when you're doing a balancing, you may want to not do this in front of your TV. It's a little bit easier if you do it in a quiet setting and where you can focus. But we're going to do tree pose. So I'm actually going to put all of my weight onto my right foot here. When you do a balancing, you want the foot nice and flat. You don't want to curl the floor or the mat with your toes because it's going to be counterproductive. And you want to be standing on all 4 points of your weight-bearing foot so you're not rocking from one side to the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place all the weight onto my right foot. Now, if you don't do a lot of balance, just practice lifting the left foot off the mat periodically. You can start tree position just by kick-standing your left foot against the right leg, or you can bring that foot up to the calf level, or you can bring it all the way up to the thigh. What you don't want to do is come onto the knee joint, so we're not coming and pushing on the knee. So we can come all the way up. Again, you can find a balance point or a focal point. And then we're going to bring the arms up on an inhale, palms together. Exhale, hands in prayer position. Relaxing the shoulders. Continuing to breathe. And then we just release it. And again, you want to do this on the other side or you'll be lopsided. So all the weight is on the left foot now. We're kickstanding the right foot against the ankle, coming up to calf level, or all the way up to the thigh. And again, with anything, the balancings are the same thing. You may find one side will really do this well and the other side maybe not so much, and that's okay. Just keep working on it. Bring the arms up, palms together, hands in prayer position. At heart center, standing up nice and tall, shoulders relaxed. Hold it, continue to breathe, and then just gently relax and release. Doing some of these yoga positions or these yoga poses, again, can promote strength, balance, and flexibility. It's a good idea to do these a couple days a week at the very least. If you want a more intense yoga class, an actual yoga class, there's yoga classes all over the city. So give one of those a try. For Fit in 5, I'm Holly. Have a healthy day.
Great, Holly. Be sure to be following Holly's tips, stay active, and keep up with the Heart of New Ulm through the Community Health Challenge. Check our website and find out what activities are of interest to you. Okay, Marcie, where are we at?
Well, basically, we just added all the ingredients together, and so now we're just going to stir in the dressing and all the vegetables so it's evenly distributed throughout the bowl here.
That looks great. You know, it smells good too. You can smell that mustard in there. It's going to be a great sauce. Now with this making 12 servings, you're going to find that even though we have some cheese and we used a fair amount of olive oil, this is going to break into a very little per portion. So it's a nice heart healthy. Remember that olive oil has the good fats, those mono and polyunsaturated that we're looking for. It's going to help bring up your good cholesterol and down your bad. We really don't have any saturated fat. or cholesterol in here, maybe a little bit in our feta cheese, but a very just small amount. It's going to fit perfectly into our heart healthy diet and follow those Mediterranean guidelines. So, I think I'm about ready to eat this, Marcie. It looks delicious.
Me too. I'm really excited. So.
Yeah, well, we appreciate all the work you've done for us for the Heart of New Ulm this summer.
No problem.
We wish you the best of luck, and thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of What's Cooking, New Ulm. We'll see you next week. Bye.